Welcome to Northern Lights. I'm Dwain.
And Mark, and today we're going to be talking about our top 6 WrestleMania moments from over the years. So we're going to pick 3 each. Doesn't matter about time relevance, anything, just anything from the past. Could have been WrestleMania 1 right up until now. Just in the spirit of WrestleMania weekend, we thought we'd do this. So Dwain, what would you say your top one is?
So my top one, I'd say it's for Seth cashing in.
Ever?
I don't know if ever, but it's definitely up there. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because there's so many WrestleManias, so to pick like my top ever moment, but I think it's really up there.
Well, it's the first time that it ever happened, to be fair, and the way that the match was going, because it was Brock and Roman, the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're both down and out next minute, and then you hear Seth's music because he took that massive RKO from Randy Orton earlier that night, lost the match. And I'll give you that, actually. I don't know, but I thought you meant ever. Like, you took ever moment, like, as in, from all the WrestleManias, that was it. But I'll give you that. In recent years as well, that was one of the top moments. I thought, it's very rare that you can do something now that hasn't been done before.
100%, because I think no one was really looking forward to seeing Romans be champ. Like, at that period in time, you thought, oh, when I get someone in, it's a bit more interesting. And it was such a good way to go about it as well.
Yeah.
Like him running down with that briefcase in his hand is such a memorable moment now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I always think with any sort of Money in the Bank cash in, it gets on my tits when because referees all of a sudden stupid and can't understand what they mean. Like, they give them briefcase and they're like, "What, you want to cash in now? What, you want to do what? You want to do what?" And then you've got to wait for an announcer. They've got to tell an announcer, Seth Rollins is cashing in. This is why he's brought his briefcase, and everyone's like, "Oh, all right." But yeah, all in all, it builds up the the excitement and everything. So yeah, I'll give you that one for your top one. Mine was my top one. I thought was the infamous Stone Cold shaking hands with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it's a classic, isn't
WrestleMania 17, what a lot of people call the end of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
But I mean, I watched that again recently. Coming into WrestleMania, I always seem to go back and watch these little moments and stuff. Because 17 is my favourite one. But you see at the very end of the match, because it was the second time that Rock and Austin have had a Mania match.
Yeah.
And there was both faces going in there. And, it was reversal after reversal and all that kind of stuff. Vince came in. And nowadays, if there's a betrayal like that, there's a quick betrayal, and then the pinfall happens.
Yeah.
But this happened, and a lot of people thought it went on a little bit too long because Rock kept kicking out. But I liked that because it was as if they was trying to break the spirit of the Rock. I know it's all kayfabe, all that kind of stuff, but it was just a nice storytelling. And then afterwards, because they had the Disturbed theme song on at that point as well, so the glass shattered, the arena and that, and he stands up, there's blood dripping down his face. McMahon's there looking hench after he got battered by his son. And they just shook hands, and I was like, yeah. And JR's commentary and Paul Heyman's commentary at the time and everything, I think it all just complemented well together. It just went in. What did you think about that?
I think it was a really good match, especially back then, because now you get loads of kickouts, don't you? Now that feels quite normal, like people kick out of like 4 or 5 finishes, whereas then it felt felt a lot more rare.
Yeah.
So it was a really good match, and those two have such good chemistry with each other, don't they? Like, how many times has Rock sold that stunner and how well he sells it?
Yeah,
so it's just great to see their chemistry. And was Rock leaving after that? Was he like filming Scorpion King or something?
I think doing some sort of movie role. Yeah, I think
it was a good way to sort of get him off for a bit. It was such a shocking moment as well, though, wasn't it? Seeing Vince and
at the time. What is it? JR said Stone Cold is shaking hands with the devil himself. The exaggerations of JR is one of the. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just love it. Well, that's my top one. What would you say your second one is? Do you think?
I'd say it's probably Kofi Kingston beating Daniel Bryan, just because. I think it was such an important moment for wrestling and for him because the emotions they had. So Daniel Bryan came in with that big hemp belt, it was like the big brown, I do remember that, and that's so funny, isn't it? He's a heel, but he cares about the environment. Which is just down,
as if he's got to be some sort of Batman villain sort of thing.
But he was always right though, wasn't he? He's like, this is bad for you, this is terrible, and everyone hated him for it. He just but I think they kind of said, the only issue I had with it is they kind of spoiled that Kofi was going to win because you could see that they had a new belt, the old belt behind them, like on a little plinth.
Okay.
So you think, well, you know he's going to win. Like, why would you have that there?
It's a little bit tainted
But
into that, then, isn't it?
yeah, but it was such a wonderful moment. It was great to see Kofi win. And then when you saw the rest of New Day come out, and they were just in tears, and they were just so happy for each other, you know.
That was a nice, like a wholesome moment when you know, Big E and Xavier come out and, you know, hugging him and all that kind of stuff. But I liked the bit when, you know, Daniel Bryan had Kofi's hands and he was stomping on him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, fast forward a little bit, Kofi's doing the same to him, so it was like bittersweet revenge, you know. And then eventually, you know, he broke him with the what's his finisher? Sorry.
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise, yeah. Broke him with that, and then you could see afterwards when he got the 1, 2, 3, like the sort of shock on his face, sort of thing. Big E and Xavier come in, embrace him, and all that, and then I do remember that actually being some sort of plinth or something. Yeah, and a little bit like if that wasn't seen. It'd have been perfect.
It might have been
just that little bit.
And that whole Kofi-Mania season beforehand was so exciting. You know, when
the chamber and everything.
He won in chamber, didn't he? And he got through, and it was just such an exciting moment because he originally wasn't even going to be in the chamber.
Yeah.
It was going to be what's his name? Mustafa Ali. So Mustafa Ali was going to be in it, and he got injured. So then Kofi took his place, and then it blew up after that, and everyone thought we want Kofi to be champ, and it just.
WWE can be good. They get it right sometimes. You know, when they listen to the crowd and they listen to, like, you know, they really like this person. So, you know, push them and, all right, we'll roll with this.
Yeah, nice natural push as well. Yeah. What's your second one?
I'd say my second one's probably... I love the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Yeah.
It was a little bit before my time. I was a little bit young, but, you know, like, say, when you watch WrestleMania, even as a kid... Like, say, the Andre getting slammed by Hogan sort of thing, that's embedded in your mind that it is...
Hogan makes sure that's embedded in our minds. He brings it up every chance he gets.
Jesus, I know, yeah. But, like, as in, you know, the amount of times that you've just heard Vince McMahon on commentary, the boyhood dream has come true, you know, that kind of stuff. So you go back and actually watch that match in its entirety. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, I know this is kind of... It sounds like I'm, you know, preaching to the converting already.
Yeah.
So, because everyone's seen that match, but if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of pro wrestling, watch that because it's a grueling, like, long Iron Man match, and it feels long because it was 0 wins each side.
Yeah, well, it went to the timer, right?
Yeah, went to the timer, and then, you know, there was the sudden death situation. They come back, Michael's at the Sweet Chin Music, and then he started tuning up the band again for a second one, did it, and it's just the way that he embraces, because he goes like that, doesn't he, like with the belt, and it just seems so...
Genuine, doesn't it?
Yeah, genuine, even for Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, for all these guys wrestling, that's the dream, isn't it? To be heavyweight champion at world. Yeah. When they get that, just think what an emotional moment is for them.
How long they've been training for all that kind of... Yeah. Like, they might just get the nod on the night of this is what's happening or whatever, but it's still... that. You know, that's your dream, isn't it? But, you know, what would you say is your third and final?
This is probably actually my favourite WrestleMania moment ever, really, and it's Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair, and just the I'm sorry, and that super kick to finish it. It's just so emotional, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think that was 24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That moment had everything in it because you had Michaels. So, you know, he was a little hesitant to do it, and then it was the I'm sorry. You had Flair giving it this, you know, bring it to us. And then after, when he gets the 3 count and he embraces him straight away, grabs hold of his head, and
it's such a beautiful moment overall, isn't it? And it's such a good story. I think it's one of the most emotional moments in almost all wrestling history, really, for me. It's
not to, you know, rain on your parade here, but the bit that ruined it is Flair went to TNA after.
Yeah, that is the one problem, isn't it? It does ruin it.
I just reminded you of that now.
Because you've built up this moment. This is my last match ever. I'm retiring, gone for good. And then week after, he's on about, you know, I'll sleep with them. I'll kiss all the girls, especially that fat one in TNA. You know?
Just Flair being Flair. But yeah, I mean, the moment in itself, because you know, like, he was looking at the crowd and, you know, blowing kisses and all this kind of stuff. I'll give you that. It was, that's 100%.
And what about yours?
My third one is the complete obvious, and you know, it's such low hanging fruit, but the streak being broken.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania 38 this weekend.
Yeah.
And this was WrestleMania 30. So now it's easy just to fall into the part of it's just a part of history. It's of wrestling history, should I say?
But it was such a shocking moment in history.
Yeah, people forget just how much it was. Like, you've seen the reaction videos on Facebook, on YouTube, and all that, and then just people in the crowd and all that. But my friends that I've watched it with, we even said, I wish we'd have set up a camera. Not that you'd ever think to do it,
just to get your own reactions.
because we were all sat there and we all leant forward. My mate, he were up at 6 for work, but he got up for it and all that, and he's like, I'm going to watch that again just to make sure it were a 3 count. And you're like, it definitely was.
Well, I thought Undertaker was going to win because, because when he gets his tongue out and that, and he does that, I think, well, he's definitely winning. Yeah. And then Brock kicks out, and that's the shocking moment in itself. Straight away, you think, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Undertaker because obviously, he's one of my favourites. He's one of everyone's favourites. But you can tell in that match as well, he was getting a little bit to the point. Just that. And especially with someone like Lesnar, a super athlete who can, just run through, do what he wants, sort of thing. You could tell Lesnar had a lot more in the tank. Undertaker was a little. Well, he concussed himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
If you watch The Last Ride, and he was saying, I still can't remember that match. I remember the afternoon of that day. Well,
that's what Paul Heyman says, doesn't he? Paul Heyman seems to claim that Brock decided that he was going to concuss him and do it anyway. Like, it's obviously a lie, I mean, not a lie,
I know what you mean. A bit of kayfabe in there.
Yeah, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, you forget just how shocking that moment was because you can't do anything about it now and that. But I still think they should have given Undertaker just let him be undefeated throughout his career.
100%. It'd have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I just mean that was just shocking in itself.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll probably do us. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you can like and subscribe, it really helps us out. We'll see you next time.